I'm in no way a Fallout expert, but I'm a big fan of the TV series. I love it, and their design of the Pip-Boy computer. I feel inspired by the power armor, the previous Pip-Boy designs, the holotape, the bottle caps, and more. So I want to build my own small wristwatch design to wear to open source. What is open source? Well, here's just some of the cool things I saw this year. And this build will be a challenge. A watch has to be small, so I'm going to use the AT-Tiny 85 microcontroller, and hopefully it has just enough pins to run everything. And I normally use an I2C display since it only needs 2 pins for power and 2 for the display. And I want a larger 1.3 inch screen, but it does take up a lot of space, and I've got no room for wasted space. So okay, now I'm wondering, does it even still work? So let's find out. And some of you might recognize this 3D printed breadboard case I designed for my previous video, and it really has been helpful to me, so I hope it helps you too. And I've just spent several days stranded on Programming Island, but finally I have some semi-functional working code to show. So here's what I want my tabs to be. I want a terminal printout, it looks very retro and techy, and another tab will be the radio playing the Fallout music, and a QR code that people can scan to link to my channel, and since it's a watch, of course, I'll need it to keep track of time. Okay, I just figured out how to make it play square wave tones, so here goes nothing. I'm hoping it's just the speaker, so let's try a different one. Nope, not much better. Alright, how about this one? Wow, okay, that sounds so much better. Bad news, we can't use this speaker because it's just too big for a watch. I want to use it, but I have to find something else. Hey, remember that last project where I bought 10 cheap toy cameras? Well, they're just collecting dust. Why don't I use it for spare parts? I think I can salvage one of these small speakers to use for this Pip-Boy watch. Alright, I'm going to come back to the speaker problem solving later. What about the battery and power? I'm going to use 2 rechargeable button cell batteries totaling about 7 volts. But I'm going to use this 3 volt regulator to step down the power, so hopefully there's enough juice to last for several hours at open source. It's time to draw the circuit and head over to my CNC machine where I can drill out the holes, carve out the traces, and then cut out the board. And by the way, many of you might recognize old Blue here. Well, sadly he stopped working today. There was nothing I could do but replace him with Red. And Red's pretty cool too, I mean, he really sucks. The show must go on. New project, new soldering tip. And I did the best I could to draw the circuit, but I did need this one little jumper wire. It's not a big deal. It's a fast way to skip over some traces. It's not a bad design. No, look, it's not pretty, but it works. Like, as long as it works, right? I mean, look, no one's even gonna see the board. Okay, look, I've got another problem to solve. The screen, it doesn't lay flat. It's got these little parts on the bottom, so I 3D printed a little stand to help hold it perfectly level. And this helps give me some room for the buttons and the microcontroller, so it's a win-win. And here goes the first test of the potentiometer. And I programmed the microcontroller to read in that variable resistance, and it divides that total range by 4 to figure out which tab it should display. The printed circuit board is working great, and nothing else can go wrong. Smooth sailing from here. You might have noticed I bought a blue pixel screen, and that's really all I could find, but I want that green for that retro computer feel. So my solution is that I found this vinyl film. It's used to turn the car headlights a different color. It works like a transparent sticker. So here is the original blue pixels, and here is the green. Okay, I love this because it even adds that little green blur around the pixels, the same way like an old CRT monitor would do. Now that we have a working PCB, let's start the printer that prints in 3 dimensions. 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimension. So I designed and 3D printed the housing, and this actually took the most amount of time. I really wanted everything to fit perfect. How everything fit together and how it felt was really important to me in this project. So I printed again and again, many times, many failed prints. I even started to run out of filament. I mean, have you ever had this feeling? It's exhilarating. Is it going to finish the print? Or will the filament run out? I mean, maybe I've got just enough filament. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, it's getting closer and closer. There's not much time left. I mean, this is it. What's going to happen? Oh, I've got my eyes closed. You tell me, what happened? What happened? But good news, I've got that filament run out sensor. The printer detects it. It'll stop. I just ran outside and picked a fresh spool of filament from my filament garden and continued printing where we left off. It's slightly noticeable, but hey, it's fine for this test print. And I had to print a few of these pieces flat, so then I have to glue it back together. And this is my favorite glue to use for 3D printing right now, so let me know what your favorite glue is in the comments. And you might be thinking, hey Sage, why not resin print? Well, hey, okay, like I tried. Resin is like a whole nother beast. If you know, you know. And the cleanup was actually not pretty, and it left a lot of this extra work to do. And also, this prop is supposed to be weathered and like a post-apocalypse prop, so that smooth look doesn't really look right to me. Well, the next phase went downhill pretty fast. I want these dynamic hinges for the holotape box. And this was crazy difficult to get right. I tried printing it at different angles, I tried printing it flat, I tried printing it in pieces and then gluing it back together. The supports didn't even help, so I had to model in my own supports, which then they would just easily snap off, just like you see. Hold on 1 second, it's after, okay, almost, right now, there, got it. Just after a few attempts, I would get it first try. So I made it print in place, so you just work it back and forth just to break that little seal, get it all loosey-goosey. And this was really oddly satisfying. I think I probably have like 10 minutes of me just doing this. Kind of lost track of time. And I was just thinking, if there's any piece that would probably break at OpenSauce, it would be these hinges. So I went ahead and printed a backup set. So this test print is working exactly the way I want it to, so I'm just going to rescale it for the actual prop. Ooh, okay, you gotta listen to this. Did you hear that? I love that sound. There are no screws needed at all, just a nice perfect pressure fit. And I think I'm going to add just a few little magnets, just to help hold that box closed at the end. Also very satisfying. There's several minutes of B-roll of me just doing this. So here is my holotape design, and I modeled it similar to like a 90s cartridge video game, which is also complete with a magnet. Yep, that's satisfying. Why don't we have more of our items use magnets? It's just the best thing ever. And I know I'm going to need a metallic look, similar to the power armor in the TV series. So I bought this chrome pen, but this test looks kind of like a mirror to me, which I don't think looks right, so I'm going to stick to the spray paint. And hey, if you can just give me a minute, I've got this shot in mind. I mean, it's not important to the project, but it's important to me. And this is not spray paint, okay? It's odorless, it's non-toxic, it's a haze atmosphere spray. They use it all the time in movies. It really helps get those rays of light. Alright, quiet on set, lights, camera, action. See? I mean, worth it. Alright, thank you for your patience, moving on. And instead of using a clear matte spray, I'm going to use a frosted glass to help make that metal look old and aged. And then after that, we're going to use model paint for some of those finer details. And this Amazon leather bracelet, it looks a little too new, so here's the before the paint, and then here is the after. I think this is more fitting for the project, almost like this has a story behind it now. Okay, for me, this looks a lot better. Alright, I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought I could use magnets to hold the model to the bracelet. And I mean, maybe I could have gotten this to work with strong enough magnets, but it's kind of risky. If it's tapped off a little bit, it could fall to the ground and break. So I've got a better idea. I printed a new back, and this has holes in it for the straps. So it's a nice, snug fit, and it's definitely going to hold everything in place. Okay, and I just had a little mini freak out. There's no way to remove the board from the 3D print. It'll always be attached. But then I found out by accident that the tops of these potentiometers pop off. Did you know that? I didn't know that. You probably knew it. I can now easily take it in and out of the 3D print if I need to replace it. And hey, that's a really cool random new problem. See those missing lines? Yeah, that's new. I mean, it does have that retro interlaced look, but I don't really like it. This is what I think happened. I was trying to jam the board into the 3D printed body. It's not a perfect fit, and I think I heard a crack, and it could have been from the screen. And the whole board isn't fitting well because of how close this chip is to the edge. And I really want this project done right. It means a lot to me, so I have to redesign the board. And hey, good news! I figured out how to remove that one jumper wire. It's not even needed with this new and better and more organized layout. And check this out. I soldered it all together, and nothing works. Isn't that fun? It's fun. We're having fun. You know what? I think I just got into the rhythm of soldering things together, and I forgot to even load the program onto this new chip. And since I'm having to redo it, this toy camera speaker is very nice, but it's just a little bit too big. So I swapped it out for a smaller speaker, and hey, that's cool, a wire just decided to break off. Another thing to fix, but we can do it. And check out this magic trick. There's no editing here. Did you hear that? That increase in volume is completely from adding it close to the 3D print. It's helping to amplify it. Makes this small speaker sound even better. Ran into another weird problem. It works fine until I push this in all the way. It just stays on the clock and the tabs just don't even work. So here's what I think's going on. The metal pins are somehow touching the metal on the PCB and shorting out. So I added this blue electrical tape. And yes, it's working. There's been so many problems building this. It's like a war, and war never changes. And just looking at this compositionally, I want to balance that red Nuka-Cola bottle cap knob with a red hollow tape attached here, and yep, you guessed it, with magnets. Man, I love magnets. I was so proud to wear this watch at OpenSauce. I was overwhelmed with being in the same room with so many creative people. In fact, even the badges that we wore are functional circuit boards. By the way, this black cat is named Link. He is a super nice stray cat that Leo is now friends with. So you might see Link and Leo together in more videos. Alright, so the first time I soldered this, I think I messed up and only one eye lit up, but then I fixed it and boom, baby. A functional, flashing LED light with simple components. There's no microcontroller. And now I'm ready to show you the final results. Yes, this project was difficult. I really wanted it to be close to perfect, and I'm happy with how it turned out, and I learned so much. And I hope it looks like an actual movie prop. So that's my journey on making my own Fallout-inspired Pip-Boy wristwatch that I took to OpenSauce. I wanted to share this with you, and most importantly, I hope you enjoyed it, and let's hang out again sometime. See you next time.